All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm Christopher Herring with Global Chamber Texas. And today we have a great opportunity to get caught up on what's going on in the great state of Texas. We have some of our chamber members online, and we will probably have some more that will come in, but we're grateful to be with you today. Um, so for me, this is kind of a wind down. I ran for mayor of San Antonio. Many of you know that, and you supported me in this adventure of a lifetime, and so I'm very grateful. Um, and I also invited one of the other individuals, Mal, who ran for mayor himself, and I just wanted to get his perspective today because we're talking about business and how our business economy is basically being shaped by our vote. And so it's very important that we have conversations that allow us to be able to talk about the impacts of a vote. So thank you, Mal, for being on today. And I think what I want to do today is I want to start off with Mr. Harris from CPS Energy, just so he can actually set the tone. He's great at setting the tone for our meetings because he brings opportunity. And as you know, we not only have a live recording, but we also take this recording and then I push it out to San Antonio via the social media networks. So this broadcast will be seen on Facebook, on LinkedIn, where business people can get the information. So I'll start out with you, Mr. Harris. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Chris. Thank you for the welcome. As you said, I definitely want to start off before anything else. Congratulating you on your mayoral run. I mean, at the end of the day, that definitely shows a lot of character. You know, a lot of like wits and wherewithal about yourself, and just a big heart for the community and stepping forward. So I definitely want to congratulate you on that and give you your flowers for doing something like that. As well, first of all, like you gave me an introduction, but I'm Montrel Harris. I'm a coordinator with CPS Energy Supply Development Team. And he spoke on opportunities. And like you said, our biggest thing is getting you registered to do business with CPS Energy and make sure you're maximizing all your opportunities here. So, I mean, first off, hopefully everyone's having a great and fantastic day. We're moving into the weekend. This is the global chamber, but if you're here in the States, you know it's Memorial Day weekend. So I want to give a heart shout out, felt, thank you to everyone in our community that served. You know, I know we all know some and a lot of people in our so thank you all. And if you're on this call and you serve, and we appreciate your service. We couldn't, this is a great weekend start with one of the opportunities that we have coming up is our workshop. We have a monthly workshop where we show vendors and other businesses how to get registered to do business with CPS Energy. That workshop will be next Wednesday, May 28th. That's May 28th at 9 a.m. to 9:45. And I also send my information in the chat, and Chris give you more information about that. So if you're interested in registering and wanting to come to do business with us in that chat, we go over it. That workshop we go over, and it's from 9 to 9:45 Wednesday, May 28th. We also have another opportunity where we're in the works of let's see, we're working on what's that? We're building a substation off WT Montgomery in 90. So we're looking once I get more information with this, I get this over to you as well, Chris. But we're looking to have an event in June, around June 27th. That's the tentative date that we're looking at. But like I say, once I get it more set in stone, I'll let you know. But that's just an opportunity, an event to, introduce potential subcontractors to the palm contractors for the project, and just, a great opportunity for local businesses to learn more about the scope of the work and connect directly with players involved. So that's a lot about what we have going on here with CPS Energy.
Hey, so with the substation, where is that located in our city of San
And that's
Antonio?
WT Montgomery and 90. And we're still working out. Once I get more of the information and the exact address of everything, I can get all that information sent over to you. But WT Montgomery and 90, that's the new substation.
Okay. Is that on the west side, east side, south side, or north side? Do you know?
I honestly don't know the specific side as well, as well, Chris. And bear with me as well. I'm still becoming a native of the city of San Antonio. My wife's on me every day, so I'm going on, I believe, 2 years now, maybe three where I'll be here. But I definitely get these north, south, east, west down.
And your event next Wednesday on the 28th, where location will that be at? And what's
That
the
will
name of
be
the event again?
so that's the UTSA supplier networking breakfast. They have it at our headquarters. That's 500 McCall. That's our downtown headquarters, and that's around 7:30 to 10:30. So yeah, it's just a time to get you out to connect and network. And they'll also be having the UTSA hub speaking. So that'll be the guest speaker of the month. So like I say, give time to local businesses to come out, network, connect, and also hear from the hub and just understand more about the business ecosystem here in San Antonio.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you talk to us just a little bit about the need to be able to certify the companies with CPS Energy? Do you use like the South Central Texas Regional Certification Agency as as your your as your way to get to do work with you, or do you have your own registration at CPS that's independent?
So we have our own registration with CPS, and that's what I basically specialize in is helping you get registered with us. So through the CPS system, you'll be able to register. And we have two vendor systems that we help you get registered in to do business with us. So yeah, we have our own.
And what types of what types of I guess certifications can a business do? Like how do they classify themselves, or how can they classify themselves? Is a better question.
Yeah, well, when it comes to certifications, we personally do not take certifications here at CPS. We encourage you to do so and get certified because it always looks good for your businesses and other people requires certifications. But however, getting registered and doing business with us, we don't necessarily specifically require certain, I guess, certifications.
Okay, okay. So then the veteran-owned businesses, the small local businesses, and then the businesses from out of the city should all register on your
Yeah,
website at CPS Energy dot is it
yeah,
org?
that's cpsenergy.com. Yeah,
Oh, dot com. Okay, very
yes.
all
And that's
right.
at cpsenergy.com. And when I say just a few clicks away and you can get there. So that's cpsenergy.com. You will see a tab at the top that says work with us. Once you click on that, it'll pull up to your left a tab that says procurement opportunity. So you'll click on that and you'll be able to register.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, I see Joshua Jensen, and he joined us, I believe, the last Texas meetup. So, love to turn the floor over to you. How are you doing today?
Doing good, Chris. Yeah, it was good
Good.
to hear about your running experience. I tapped on and followed some of that, so that was probably exciting for you.
I learned a lot. I think that anytime that you make a decision to volunteer to want to lead your city, you have to get to know the ins and outs of it. So I was definitely on a mission, learned a lot, and I learned a lot that I actually can impart back into local chamber because um, the political side of the house also works with the business side of the house, and so you have to be able to know exactly how the city works and then where businesses fit in. But overall, in the state of Texas, we also know that we have a Texas capital in Austin. We are a pro-business state, and it's also something in which I hope to encourage all of our members just to learn more about how do you integrate your business into the state of Texas, because our markets are totally different. Whether you're in Dallas, Houston, Austin, or San Antonio, or any of the smaller cities in between, everything is a little bit different. So I just encourage everyone just to do your research and then plug in. But how is your work doing with Copay?
Corpay's doing pretty good. It's interesting because looking along the broader global the global perspective of our business. Um, with the tariffs, how they are, we've seen more of a slump in payments in the US as far as like global payments go. But over in Canada, in the UK, Australia, we've actually seen an increase in payments. So overall,
Hmm.
company as a whole is actually still doing good. We had an increase in revenue from the last Q1 report, so things are going well.
Okay, good, good. And what opportunities can you share with businesses that want to get to know more about your company or subcontracting opportunities or whatever the opportunities may be?
Yeah, so I'm sure you're aware because I spoke to this last time, but like I just exist in the foreign exchange space and primarily just to help companies with their cross-border payments. We differentiate ourselves from a bank by just being able to provide cost savings when it comes to those foreign exchange rates, but also being able to provide advising, consulting, and even some free treasury tools that are helpful. But I actually have a prospect that is a there. So it's kind of a company that's been around for, I don't know, 6, 7 years, and they are trying to receive additional funding to expand their aviation product line
Hmm.
internationally. Um,
Okay.
and it's been kind of unique to try and find an investor for them, just because a lot of people aren't really investing in the aviation sector right now in regards to like alternative um, flight engines is kind of what they're doing. But if somebody has any type of lead or source of an investor, angel investor, VC, that focuses on aviation specifically, um, I'd love to connect them over with this potential client. Because once they start going internationally, they have a potential contract that looks like it's promising over in Europe, but
Okay.
some additional funding could help them get there. And then obviously my clients start doing business internationally, and then their business progresses and my business progresses. So it's kind of a win-win around that way. So
Love that. Well, and I'm glad you pitched what you need because one thing about Global Chamber is once we hear the opportunities to be able to help people to do business together, we try to make warm connections. And so I will actually I'll probably hit you up on LinkedIn so I can get more information from you about this offering. You know, in San Antonio, Military City, USA, aviation, we are an aviation hub to a certain degree. At Port San Antonio, we have a number of our larger aerospace aviation companies. But then right there at the airport, I see many hangars that
mm,
are with aviation companies as well. So love to see how we can help you to see what's here as well as across the state. So I appreciate that. What size companies do you typically work with? Small, medium, large, or all of the above?
um, all of the above. So I've got some clients that per year send around $1 million. Um, but then I also have some clients that are doing hundreds of millions of dollars every year. So the strategy changes depending on what size you are. And then, you know, uh, how much advising is needed as well when you're, that big. You might have a full staff in place, so you might not need a lot. But then on the other flip side, I've seen, companies of that nature still using Excel sheets trying to manage their foreign exchange. And that's when it's really good for me to jump in and kind of help clean things up, streamline it a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. You know, we've been working with companies under this concept of making global local. I think that when local companies start thinking about getting into an international arena, the currency exchange is definitely an issue. And I'm glad that Global Chamber has you to be able to help our companies navigate those waters. I know that most things international is a learning curve for some. Some of it's legal,
Hmm.
some a byproduct of staffing, you know, manpower, and then the other is money. And so glad that you're with us today to talk about the importance of the money and and the fact that there's some opportunities even for those who want to be an angel investor to a great opportunity that you're holding on. So thank you.
Yes, yes, for sure. And to your point, yeah, companies don't they sometimes they don't always look to go international. They just, find a contract or a buyer, and then their product starts going international, and then before they know it, they're, up to their eyes with trying to figure out, you know, all like all the international terms when it comes to foreign exchange and repatriation and forward contracts and options and you know so yeah.
No, I understand. I'm gonna segue to Mal Sanchez ran for mayor in the city of San Antonio, and you know Mal actually has the same type of conversation that you have, Joshua. He's really financially savvy. He's astute in terms of what economic development, business markets look like, and growth. And so I just wanted to get Mal to talk to us about your reflection on your run, and thank you for running. I learned a lot from you, made a new friend, and also, what do you see across the state of Texas from your perspective? And you could even talk about San Antonio or any city in which you're aware now.
Yeah, thanks for having me. First, I want to make sure you hear me okay or no?
We hear you great.
Okay. Thanks for having me. So, yeah, I mean, what was your question, Christopher?
Yeah, just what's your reflection about your race, your run, and what did you learn about the importance of, I guess, business and politics? Because you were really dissecting a lot of good information about how our city can come up and how we get out of generational poverty, which was a theme during this race.
Yeah, I think, look, at the center of how business gets developed across the United States, being a capitalistic economy, politics is very closely tied to all of that. If you look at any city that's been developed, whether it's across Texas or across the United States, you're always going to hear about the stories that what happened on the back end in terms of politics. So I will say, like in the 70s in New York City, in the early 2000s in Austin, Texas, Dallas has been up in the forefront for a while now, predominantly. Getting a call. Give me a second here. All right. So Dallas is at the forefront right now in terms of where markets are going to be going from New York City. So hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, we're with you.
So Dallas is at the forefront of what's going to be what I would say the new age of how markets are formulating across the United States. And I say that because we've seen companies across the United States begin to move to Texas, specifically Austin, Dallas, Houston. San Antonio's gotten some of that drift, but then the Texas stock exchange is coming into play now. So you're hearing across Wall Street, you're hearing CEOs, hedge fund managers talk about the environment of Texas being conducive to the entrepreneurial spirit of the United States. go into a new, what I would say is a new great growth period for the state of Texas. I don't think that San Antonio is going to participate as much in that as we should, specifically because I don't believe that we have the right leadership to get us through that forefront. What the right leadership entails would be leaders that actually understand the dynamics that make up U.S. capitalism. If you look at any platform that any leader, past, current, of the state of San Antonio, it's been very small-minded in my opinion. It's not, they're not thinking with the perspective that we live in a globalized economy and we have an opportunity here, just like they, just how leaders in other big cities that have been developed have been able to benefit from that state of mind. And so Texas is in a unique position. My worry, I mean, the reason I ran is, look, I understood the politics behind it. I've known the politics behind it for 15 years now, not 20 years. My entire adult life was trying to figure out why San Antonio lagged across other cities throughout Texas. And throughout this race, it opened my eyes to, I came in the race and I knew the perspectives were, we have the second biggest population. You'll hear this across the narratives that I put out during the campaign. Second biggest city by population and by land mass. But we're last in place when it comes to any kind of economic development, wages earned, GDP growth, what carries our gross domestic product. And we just don't participate in those moving factors of what really carries the tide of U.S. capitalism enough. And so I think, if we don't get the right leadership in place, I think we're in for a dark 8 years. At the end of that term, those 2 terms, I think it's more difficult than not to really try to fix the issue that we have now. So, the reflection is that I ran because I ideally wanted to save the city, I guess you could call it, by infusing that perspective of economic revitalization. But it's prevalent that San Antonio isn't ready for it. And I don't entirely blame San Antonio. When you think of being a productive city, it's more moving parts than not. But what it forces people to do is it forces people to elevate the baseline in which they work at. So if you think of a perspective, let's just put any given family in the city of San Antonio could probably get by working a part-time job because cost of living is low and they would make just enough to stay within the parameters of being able to sustain the living. Now, when you grow into a more productive local economy, what that forces you to do, look at the people that live in, let's say, a city like Austin. Cost of living is more, and that requires people to have either one very, very good paying job or several jobs for them to be able to make. And so I think that's the factor that really scares the citizens, right? When they think of it, it's not just lost faith in government leaders at the city level. That's one factor, but the other important factor is people are thinking about what happens if our economy gets revitalized. Well, for one, gentrification is real. Cost of living goes up, and that forces someone to either go back to school, get better training, or compete harder to get a job. And if they don't, then they fall behind. Generational poverty could get exponentially worse. But it's an opportunity. Economic revitalization and economic diversification is an opportunity for the city to elevate itself as a central place in Texas and the United States. But it's also an opportunity for families, for individuals within families to really tap into that, hone down on what they're great at, fix what they're not, and really elevate the standard of life that they're living in.
Yeah. Well, that's a great summary, Mal. Thank you. as in San Antonio, we're going into a runoff. The runoff will be on June 3rd, and we have two candidates who remain. One is Gina Ortiz Jones, and the other Rolando Pablos. And the question that people have asked me, Mal, is there a difference between? Okay, there's someone that's, who is that? Okay, is there a difference between the two candidates in terms of is one able to use an equity lens to get things done? Or is the other that has more of an economic development background able to do more since the president and the governor are both Republican? So that's a question I'll throw at you. Are we frozen? Can anyone tell me?
It's all good. It's all good on my end, please.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, I'm going to shift to Terry Levine. Terry would like to say some words. I just lost Mal. And then we also have
Chris, I'm sorry, I fell off that
yeah.
call. I
you
lost you when you said that the question that people are asking you with Gina Jones and Rolando Pablos running.
Right.
I lost you after that. Can you repeat what you're saying?
Yeah, they were just talking about the state of our economy. Gina has more of a equity lens to, I guess, looking at, San Antonio, and then Rolando Pablos has more of an economic development route that's also been a part of Governor Abbott's term as governor, and also the connection to the White House. So what's better for San Antonio, a progressive or someone who is already rooted within the economic development framework of Texas?
Yeah, I mean, it's prevalent. And by equity, do you mean more of just a progressive ideology in terms of revitalizing the economy? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I have not endorsed anyone, and I'm not.
Yeah.
But
look, it's obvious that the equity factor. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So it's obvious that the equity factor, the progressive factor for San Antonio hasn't worked. It works in a place where there's already economic development within a city that is diversified enough to carry that forward. It could work in that case. But right now, it hasn't worked for this amount of time because, for one, it drains our budget from really trying to fix the real issues. When you don't have, when your revenue is dependent on CPS solves revenue streams, and you don't have enough participation from productivity from a private sector standpoint, then that creates what I would say is a bleed in the system, in which will make it very difficult for the perspective that Jones brings into this race. I think that perspective could work if we've elevated our economy well enough, but I think we're at minimum 6 to 8 years away from being able to do that. So just truthfully honest, I don't think Jones is the answer for what San Antonio needs currently. And Rolando comes with a good perspective. I mean, I don't know his ties. I've never paid attention to his ties to Abbott. I think that's more of I think it's a distraction from what he's actually trying to do. When you think of Rolando Pablos talking about the perspectives of what economic development means in the city, he wants to leverage his connections to think what Rolando Pablo is to infuse in the perspective is that more private sector participation from the strongest economy in the world is the answer to fix our issues. And it's not that we need money from Mexico. It's not that we need more participation from the government. It's just being able to tap into U.S. Private sector. I mean, some of the strongest companies in the world come from the United States. Some of them are now headquartered, an hour and a half away in Austin. What's to say that San Antonio isn't an opportune city to tap into that private sector, bring more corporate participation, and elevate our local economy to benefit from the expansions of, United States capitalism? We're not doing that enough, and I don't think they're talking about it enough. Jones is definitely not talking about it at all. Rolando gets it. I think he gets it because him and I have had conversations during the campaign race. But I don't think the answer is entirely tapping into government entities at the state and federal level. I think a lot of what our development needs is more private sector participation. Again, we're the strongest economy in the world.
Thank you. Yeah, no, your perspectives are well taken. In fact, those are some of the thoughts that I've had, and I do know that sometimes when people get behind leaders, they look at politicians' political party affiliation. The position of mayor in the city of San Antonio is not a party race. It's I think that's also the challenge as I move forward with the Global Chamber, is to make sure that our next mayor understands the importance of having a global chamber organization that help to add value to the value that we need to have as being pro-business, and also trying to bring economic value to our city. The city of San Antonio is very heavily run by our city and our governments, but in most of the top 10 cities around the United States are run by companies, Fortune 500 companies. And so that's a true distinction that I've learned as we've been progressing through this race period.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality of the world we live in. And now more than ever, it's more important to tap into that private sector because, look, with cuts to the federal deficit, to the federal budget happening, which are important, which I do condone, with those cuts, the biggest cities that are going to be affected are those cities that are dependent on federal government dollars, which is us. And
right.
So, the responsibility of leadership today and, the responsibility of leadership 10 years ago should have been to infuse private sector dynamics into our local economy. And look, you let the companies do the work.
You just have to be able to.
You just have to be able to tap into that private sector and let the market do their thing. This is why investors, we buy companies because we believe in what they're doing, and they've proven right over the past. I mean, as long as I've been alive, 35 years. I think we maybe had two downturns of the economy in 2008, 2001, and I think 2020 during the pandemic, but he quickly got saved by the Fed. It's not hard work. It's just about infusing that competition, that diversification, and let the markets do their own thing. The government has to do back.
Well, Mal, I appreciate your inputs, and I would like to sit down with you and talk to you more about Global Chamber, because I believe that you have great perspective that we need to hear, not only today, but in the future. So I'll send you a note so we can have a meeting, coffee, and talk more about that. Okay?
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to next go to Dr. Keeley Petty. Dr. Petty is with West Care. And Mal, if you can mute, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, let me mute.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Petty is with West Care, and she is with us today. You know, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Dr. Petty has been working with people from all over the world, the United States, and I asked her to come on so she can at least share with us a little bit about the importance of this month, especially for business owners who have employees, and what does that really mean? So, Dr. Petty, can you please unmute?
Hey, everybody. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. This month is so important to every human being that exists on the face of the earth. It is an exciting time to bring mental wellness practices into your businesses, incorporating activities that promote mental well-being, mental health, emotional health, the 8 dimensions of wellness. Right here in our city, really all over our nation, there is a movement to talk about mental health outside of psychiatric offices, outside of doctors' offices, and really bring this conversation to the forefront, because many of us have grown up under the mantra that what goes on in the house stays in the house. So
Right.
I believe that the Global Chamber should embrace trauma-informed principles, should embrace practicing emotional health, should embrace ongoing learning opportunities from subject matter experts such as myself, to help you be attuned and aware of what mental health is. There's so much language out there now, and it's bothering me a little bit because now everybody's a mental health expert, and that is not the case. I want to bring scientific, evidence-based, proven methodologies and strategies that really help individuals not just have a good work life, but reverse the work-life balance to say, it's life, work, and balance. And we bring that balance in by making sure that we take care of our mental health, just as we take care of any other health condition. We have to move and mobilize. Also, because of the times that we're in, we have to understand mild, moderate, and severe forms of mental illness. And I'm the person to help do that.
Thank you. You know, I was making a statement yesterday to my wife, and I said that I believe that it was rare for people to have had mental health issues in the past. But today, I think that we all have more mental health issues than we are completely good and sane individuals. I don't know. Maybe it's because we've embraced this this space that we used to shun and used to ostracize, and
Mm-hmm.
and maybe, Dr. Petty, the uncomfortable feeling that you have is because so many people now see mental health as being a way of life, as opposed to back in the 70s, 80s, when mental health was something that if you had it, you would hide. If you had it,
Mm-hmm.
your family would push it down. And now we're at the point to where, as everyone says, they're able to speak their mind, they're able to speak their truth. And there's a lot of different truths. Some of it's accurate with fact, some of it's not.
Yeah.
And some based on a level of narcissistic behavior. But
Oh, absolutely.
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, again, mental health has to stay at the forefront of conversation in business spaces and educational spaces, in personal spaces, because we don't understand. We, again, past times, we couldn't even talk about it. People were ostracized. We're like, no, stay away. They're crazy. We even, our language was off. So thank God that the Global Chamber is choosing to bring awareness so that the work that we do, we can truly see it succeed. without any hindrances from our emotional ability to make those business dreams come true, to meet those goals, to expand those goals. Again, I grew up under the mantra that what goes on in the house stays in the house. And it took me many years to crawl out of that. So I am a proponent of, as the young folks say, we need to chop it up and have more conversations in barbershops, in churches, at the club. When you go with your bestie, to stop talking about people and start asking, how are you doing? We normally say, what
Yes,
do you
yes.
with you? But a more empathetic approach would be what happened to you. And it is from
How,
that and then get the soul story of the individual, which will help you understand them better. Yes, sir.
yeah, so you've been communicating through your platform, Matters of the Mind,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
for a long time, and you've been talking to business community, business people. In fact, we applaud you because we know that, and I'm sharing that you're going to be recognized on with the 30th of this month
Mm-hmm.
into the San Antonio
Women.
Hall of Women's Hall of Fame. That's right. Yeah. And that's a lifetime achievement that you greatly honor, that you greatly deserve. And the honor is for your work that you're talking about today. So let's reflect more right now on what does this recognition mean to you, considering the career that you're in and the path that you've taken that traditionally was shunned. And now you're being celebrated in an area which has typically not been very celebrated.
Well, it speaks to the fact that knowledge is power, and that we now have a space in the earth to talk about the things that we never ever could talk about before. I'm excited about the social emotional learning component that schools are now embracing, so that we can start helping kids even understand their emotions, how to express their emotions, how to talk about their emotions, how to talk about their trauma, how to do these things so that we really can have a healthy community of workers. It is documented that 1 in 5 of us have a mental health implication. It is documented that billions of dollars are lost annually every year because of individuals having mental health implications, taking off 15 out of a 30-day month. So you see these trends happening in different spaces. Some jobs cause trauma and mental health, but outside of that, most of us don't even know what that is. We think it's a cute cliche to say, oh, my therapist said, and your therapist is your girlfriend who's been lying to you all your life, and you just don't know that. So teaching people how to get true treatment, true therapy, true counseling, true coaching from people like myself who host Matters of the Mind, because everybody can't pay for counseling. Everybody can't pay for coaching. So Matters of the Mind is a virtual bi-monthly conversation where we talk about it all. You know, in the days they would say we would take it from the root to the toot. We talk from the head to the tail about how we can implement mental health strategies so that we really can have an optimum life.
And that's the most important right there, having the optimal life and being able to living your truth and not have unnecessary stress. I think in the workplace, when we think about what employers sometimes deal with is we have people who work for us that are going through situations. They have stress. They don't know how to manage. They don't know how to manage their finances, their emotional strains that come to them. We all have things that happen,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe that in the state of Texas, you've worked all around the United States and around the world, but do you see anything in the state of Texas that you think stands out? And you can even talk about your work with Westcare, Texas.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm real proud about of being a Texas is that our governor is mandating federal dollars toward mental health initiatives. So, for example, I work with West Care, Texas. I have my own company, Kickstart Your Life with Dr. Keeley. I also established, I want to say a year ago, the Mental Wellness Faith Collective. Why? Because the churches are now embracing mental health and trauma training for their deacons, for their elders, for their leaders. Do you know 70%? Okay, let me say it this way. The first person an individual goes to is their pastor, their shaman, their priest when they are having mental health implications. However,
Right.
you're going, but 70% of pastors feel inadequate. This is from the Barna Research Group. They feel inadequate to do anything other than pray for an individual.
Yes, that's true.
And I'm changing that. How am I changing that? By bringing into faith-based organizations, churches, any entity, the trauma-informed ministry model, where we provide mental health first aid training. We provide verbal de-escalation training. And we will provide, and I say we, I will be your trainer, we'll be providing psychological first aid training. I'm not sure if you know this, but we never had terminology like in the business world, like, ooh, they went postal. Well, that came about because somebody was at work. They had been called into the office. They were being released. They said, okay, but then they came back later and just shot up everybody. That is a sign of a mental health implication. How is it that
Right.
I've worked with you, same cubicle, same place, 15, 20 years, and you come back and you do that? That's a clear implication that we have to have these mental health conversations globally, and we have to understand them culturally. We also need to keep these conversations in the workplace because people are dying when they go to work. And we've got to open up a trusted space to have these conversations where people don't feel like if I tell you I'm depressed today and I need a self-care day, that they won't be penalized for that. So again, how do we bring this wellness work into work so that people can work? Ooh, that was good. How do we bring the wellness work into work so that people can work well?
So this is recorded, so we can run that back. I would say that leadership is always going to set the tone, and I think that perhaps what we recognize companies for is typically the amount of profits which a company can bring to shareholders. But maybe another part of recognition is how well does a leader care for their employees, and how well do they care for their employees so that they are able to have that wellness that you're talking about. So that's very important. We have like 5 minutes left, but I did want to say that your work is phenomenal. I'm so glad that you've been able to tie back into the Global Chamber, and you've come on to our various meetings just to give us drips of wisdom that we can apply. This opportunity to be able to help business owners who are under lots of stress to be creative, to be innovative, to
And listen at what you just said. Leaders in
right.
every field are under stress. And stress affects our internal pharmacy, our dopamine, our serotonin, our endorphins. It affects that. So people are driving in traffic. That's affecting people's mental health. Getting to work through that traffic, getting to work and work. So you've got a whole lot of things piling up on human beings, and some people don't know how to handle it. And this is why addictions seems so attractive, because we're going to find a way to relieve ourselves some way.
Yeah.
So I am simply suggesting that the new one, in addition to business models for success in business, is a wellness track. that we intentionally, as companies, have wellness days set aside for our employees so that we set up our offices to feel like they are safe and trusted spaces. We put a nap room in our building. So if people power naps are powerful, right? So we do things like that to say we're thankful that you're here working, you're doing a good job, but beyond that, we want to keep you here. We don't want you here for sure. We want you here for as long as you can be. And to make that happen, we need to think about mental wellness for everybody, from the president to the janitor. Everyone should be involved in some level of training for understanding purposes, because when you understand, you can then be more empathetic with what you don't understand.
Love that. Love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you coming on to really wrap up our Global Chamber Texas meetup. Again, this was Dr. Keeley Petty. I just want to say,
Mental Health Awareness Month.
That's it. That's it.
And the global hopped on this. Y'all got to report that. Y'all got to shout that out.
We will. We definitely will. And I just want to say, you know, for myself, as one of the executive directors of Global Chamber, and after going through a mayoral campaign, our CEO founder, Doug Brunke, he checked on me and asked me how was I doing, you know, and whenever he calls and has conversations, I'm very appreciative because I've been doing this now since 2017 with him. He always calls with the objective of seeing how that leader is doing, and some people, they have the hidden, you know, like, how are you doing, and then they get to the bottom line of other things, but he just simply cares, and that means so much. So he's helped my mental health be good, and I'm thankful that we're able to push forward. And again, this has been great. I thank you, Dr. Petty, for joining us today.
Thank you. And if anybody wants any more information on this, any training, please visit my website at keeleypetty.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. And again, bring this training to your organization, and you're going to see your people empowered. You're going to see your numbers increase. You're going to see peace and tranquility in the office and among the people when you give them understanding that they thought they never had access to. I'm on a Kashi mission to help humanity hold on to hope until healing happens. That's my time. Thank you for yours.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us today for Global Chamber Texas Meetup. Join us again next month, and go to our website at globalchamber.org if you'd like to join us, sponsor our organization. We have a calendar of events that happens every business day. So please, please, please go to globalchamber.org and sign up today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you the next time. God bless.
Have a happy weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.